creative living experience. Black quantum futurism is a new approach to living and experiencing reality by way of the manipulation of space-time in order to see into possible futures and or collapse space-time into a desired future in order to bring about that future's reality. This vision in practice derives its facets, tenets, and qualities from quantum physics, futurist traditions, and Black African cultural traditions of consciousness, time, and space. Inside of the space where these three traditions intersect exists a creative plane that allows for the ability of African descended people to actually see into, create, or choose the impending future. From a multiplicity of possible futures, a practice of BQF allows a visionary to see into the future with clarity, seize upon a vision of one particular future of your choosing, alter, shift, or shape it, then collapse it into your existing reality. It is the inheritance of a BQF practitioner to manipulate time, see into the future, and bring that future about. Why BQF? There is no rhythm or pattern to a linear mode of time. A linear mode of time does not allow access to information about the future and only limited information about the past. Being able to see into the future necessarily involves a manipulation of space-time. As noted above, through Black quantum futurism, we can increase the knowability of the future and the past. This practice develops foresight and hindsight by studying sources, patterns, and causes of change in larger social systems and patterns, as well as our personal spheres of order to map out our quantum futures. Time is change, and to see into the future is merely to anticipate what changes will occur. Those changes may conceivably be based on existing patterns and cycles, or in other words, the recurrence of particular experiences. The following sections will explore blah, 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 blah. It's a theory and practice of Black quantum futurism alters the established order and informs the way we define the world. The language of the theory is thus guided by the phenomena of Blackness, futurism, and quantum physics, allowing for a cyclical, dynamic process of each term defining and incorporating itself into the other term. It's necessary to first get a few definitions and concepts descriptions out of the way to frame the discussion. Future, as used throughout this essay, does not rely on a specified distance, if you will, into the future. The future is relative, an ever-forward moving point, and can be as spaced out or as close as one chooses to define it, i.e. the next second, the next day, the next decade. Before we lived through yesterday and found ourselves in today, the future was today. Futurism, alternatively known as futurology and future studies, refers to the act of theorizing or envisioning possible, probable, and preferable futures. Much in a way that historical study seeks to tell the stories of the past, or some approximation to the past as experienced by a privileged few, futurism attempts to not only envision what is to come, but to understand what about the world is likely to continue and what about the world could plausibly change. Part of the discipline thus seeks a systematic and pattern-based understanding of past and present, and to determine the likelihood of future events and trends. The most relevant practice and theory of futurism for our purposes is Afro Futurism. Afro-futuristic concepts of sci-fi, fantasy, myth, and speculation bind both the past and future, delivering them to a now in visual, literary, musical terms, and any other mode of expression that one sees fit to attach the lens to. Afro-futurism is a visionary and retrospective all at once and current in that it recognizes that time cycles, spirals, or is experienced in many other shapes and at varying rates. These time cycles are born of the African unconscious, which apprehends rhythms and patterns and repetition as intrinsic to nature. The same rhythms that order the stars and planets are the same rhythms that regulate heartbeat, breathing, and blood flow. Perception of these patterns and intrinsic harmonious ordering principles in nature led to the world's first calendar, zodiacs, and mathematics created by ancient African civilizations. So the rest is kind of jumbled and crazy, so I'm not going to read anymore, but that is Black quantum futurism.